Hello everyone! This is certainly a long overdue video, but I did want to give you all an update on my 2017 Volvo S60. I've had the vehicle about a year and a half now and have put a little over 20,000 miles on it. So I just wanted to go over the good things, the bad things, what my ownership experience has been like as I'm about halfway through my lease with the vehicle. So I'll start out with some of the good things that I like about the car. I still think it looks great. I love the osmium gray on the outside. I'm also glad that I went with a dynamic trim level that gives me the R-Design front fascia as well as the rear design, the R-Design rear bumper as well. Also still love these wheels too. Big fan of the 19-inch wheels on this car because it has the sport package. And as you can see, it's not clean right now. We're just coming out of winter here in New Hampshire, and it rained for 21 days out of 30 in April, so I was not going to clean it anytime soon because it's just going to pour for the next week. I did unfortunately curb rash this rim a little bit, but all of the rest of the ones have held up well. Tires are in good shape. They're all, I think, at 9/32 all the way around. I do run snow tires in the winter as well, so that certainly keeps the wear off. So that's been really good. This car is also fantastic in the snow. I've been very, very content with its winter performance. I do put, like I said, snow tires on it. They are Michelin X-Ice XI3s. They really make this car feel planted in the winter time. In extreme weather conditions, I have not felt safer in any vehicle than a Volvo, whether it be a sedan, wagon, SUV, anything like that. They're really great cars. So, but what we'll do next, I'll hop on inside. So I do have the charcoal interior, and these are the sport seats that the vehicle has. I do really love them. They're so comfortable. One of the best things about this car is just how comfortable the seats are. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I took a trip down to New York City, and it was just such a blessing, you know, getting out of the car after, 4 or 5 hour drive. Other than the stress of the drive itself through New York City, I was not uncomfortable in any way. And they are wearing well after about 21,000 miles. You have a little crease right there, but it's not too bad. And as you can see, I haven't cleaned it. This is, my daily driver, so it's not perfect. So don't, rag on me for that. But let's hop inside. We'll start it up. Do a mileage check. All right. So, as you guys can see, I have a little over 21,000 miles on it, 21,198 miles. On the inside, see how things are holding up here? Pretty well. Like I said, it just needs to be detailed a little bit because it's been, we're just coming out of the winter here. But other things that I'll talk about that I like in this car. So, big fan, as you can see in front of me, the road sign information that my car has, since it has the technology package, it reads the speed limit of the roads that I'm driving on. So that's really nice. The technology package also has the adaptive cruise control and lane departure warning. And I really love the adaptive cruise control for longer drives. It really takes the hassle out of longer road trips. So I'm a big, big fan of that. In addition, my car also has the upgraded headlights, the active bending ones, the xenons. Those are great in low visibility situations. So a big fan of that, just because I have glasses and at night it can be tricky for me to see while I'm driving. So those have been very, very helpful. Coming over here, this is the infotainment system. This has gotten, it's gotten a bit old. Lots of people have criticized it, in its later years, saying that it was behind the times and things like that. I personally have no qualms with it. The only thing that I wish it did have was Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That's the only thing it doesn't have. But it does everything else that I need it to do. It's very easy to use. I can do everything right at my fingertips right here with these few buttons. I have voice controls that work decently as well for my Bluetooth. My car does not have navigation, but if it did, it would be voice activated, and I have used it in other Volvos and it works quite well too. Down here, I have my shifter here for my 8-speed automatic transmission. I guess this is where we can kind of go on to some of the bad things that have happened with the car, unfortunate things. At about 11,000 miles, I actually had to have the transmission replaced. There was some unfortunate malfunction that happened with it. My service department in my dealership has not seen anything like it. It is not something that is necessarily common with these vehicles, so it completely threw everyone by surprise. But Volvo covered everything. I had a loaner vehicle for a couple weeks while it was getting repaired and we were waiting for parts. So that was unfortunate, but it was all fixed as it should have been. It was just, it was shifting odd. So I had brought it into them, and once they hooked it up to the computer, that's what they had noticed, that it was having some issues. So Volvo recommended to replace it. So thankfully, I did not have to worry about that. Other things with the vehicle, in terms of, you know, things that I'm not so fond of, the transmission itself, I think it's because I had Volvo's Polestar tune added to it. It can be a little jerky sometimes. It does shift quickly, more quickly than the regular transmissions without the Polestar tune. And I also do have a lot more low and mid-end torque, or mid-range torque, than I would have otherwise. But I noticed that it can be a little bit jerky sometimes. And there can be a little bit of lag with the turbo. That being said, it still drives very nice and it's very quick. I'm certainly happy about that. Let's see. Those are really my only gripes. Oh, I guess another thing that I'm not a huge fan of. So my car does have the Sport package, which gives you the paddle shifters that you see here. It also gives me the wheels that you guys saw outside, as well as the R-Design Sport suspension. So this car is lowered from a normal S60. And that Sport suspension over rough roads can be a bit tiring. I noticed it does handle better than an S60 equipped without this suspension. But that being said, over rough roads, it can be very tiring. I was happy to see that when I drove the new S60 that they have improved the ride. It's not quite as firm. You can still feel the road and everything, but it's not quite to the level of this where it can be a little bit tiring. Just not quite the luxury level that, you know, can be, that you would expect out of this. But it still handles quite well for what it is. Certainly no sports car, but it definitely can handle itself around corners. What I'll do is we'll pop outside. I'll show you guys the rest of the car. Again, not clean, but hey, it's my daily driver. The back seats very rarely get used, as you can see. One feature that I do love also, all the Volvos have, is you can hit a button right on the dash and it power folds these rear headrests. It's great because you can see better out the back of the car, and at the same time, it can also clock your rear passengers on the head. So that's a perk. I enjoy that. Coming around to the back of the car, I still think this design has aged very well. Taking a look at the new S60, I'm a big fan of it, and that's certainly a contender for my next vehicle as well. But I'm definitely a big fan of how this car is holding up, especially with the R-Design rear bumper splitter, as well as the spoiler that I have on the back. I think it's still a very handsome vehicle. So, other than that, I've just had to do the routine services. Volvo pays for the first 3 services on this vehicle, and I did the 10,000 mile service and the 20,000 mile service already, and I'll be doing the 30,000 mile service, and then shortly after that I'll be turning it in and I'll be getting something different at the end of this lease. Haven't decided what. Most likely it will be another S60, probably a T6 R-Design is what I'm thinking of, but I'm also entertaining the idea of a Volkswagen GTI as well. So we'll see exactly what I end up with. But overall, this car has suited me very well. Very happy with it, other than the few minor things that we've had to worry about, but that's the beauty of a warranty, and in the end of the day, Volvo has taken care of me. So if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment below. Please like the video, and I hope you continue watching for more. Thanks.